In the sprawling metropolis of Los Angeles, where the city's heartbeat echoed through its bustling streets, Mark Corley, a dedicated police detective, was caught in the turmoil of his son's recurrent troubles. It was the third time Trent had been arrested for fighting, and Mark knew that his friend Garcia wouldn't be able to keep helping him if Trent kept getting into trouble. With quick steps, Mark ran to the police headquarters to pick up Trent. As they were about to head home, their car unfortunately broke down. Having no other choice, they decided to continue their journey by subway. Mark couldn't shake off the feeling of unease as they rode the subway. The familiar weight of his wife's ring in his hand was a stark reminder of the fragility of his family's unity. Suddenly, the subway jolted violently, throwing everyone off balance. Mark's instincts kicked in as he rushed to the front of the carriage to check on the transit operator, Audrey. Mark asked what had happened, but Audrey was confused because she didn't know what had caused the shaking. A few moments later, there was another violent shock. Confusion and panic spread among the passengers as another jolt rocked the train. Over the intercom, a cryptic message echoed, warning them not to look into the light. Mark's heart raced as he realized they were in grave danger. When the subway jolted again, Mark was alarmed. With determination, Mark decided to pry open the subway doors, leading the passengers to safety. Meanwhile, inside the quiet police station, Garcia emerged from the toilet with an uneasy sensation gnawing at him. The usual buzz of activity was conspicuously absent, replaced by an eerie silence that hung heavily in the air. Casting a perplexed glance around, he found himself met only by the sight of Jones, a lone policewoman, who mirrored his confusion. Out in the bustling streets, amidst the hustle and bustle of city life, Sarge, a blind beggar known to many, felt an unsettling shift in the atmosphere. The usual cacophony of urban sounds was replaced by an unusual serenity, punctuated only by sporadic outbursts that seemed out of place. Puzzled, he reached out to those passing by, seeking answers to the enigmatic situation, but found only vacant stares and reticence in response. It was as though the world around him had inexplicably vanished into thin air, leaving him stranded in a realm of perplexity. Mark and his fellow train passengers disembarked in another corner of the city at a station that seemed frozen in time, devoid of the usual signs of life. As they stepped onto the deserted platform, their eyes were drawn to a mesmerizing blue glow emanating from an unknown source, casting an otherworldly hue over the surroundings. Among them, Trent, Mark's impulsive son, couldn't resist the allure of the enigmatic light. Despite his father's warnings, he found himself drawn towards its hypnotic glow, his curiosity overpowering any sense of caution. Meanwhile, a woman, her footsteps echoing in the eerie silence of the station, trailed after Trent with a mother's concern etched upon her face. Intent on reuniting with her children waiting outside, she hesitated as Trent approached the mysterious light. Sensing the danger lurking in its radiant embrace, Trent's instinctive warning stopped her. Trent's panicked cries pierced the air, snapping Mark out of astonishment. Without hesitation, he rushed after his son, his heart pounding with fear and determination. However, when the blue light also hit Trent, his eyes changed and he followed the woman towards the light. From a distance, Mark chased after Trent, who was hypnotized after seeing him exposed to the light. He desperately tried to resuscitate his son, but his efforts were in vain. Outside the station, the scene unfolded before him like a surreal nightmare, with countless others trapped by the mesmerizing blue light emanating from the colossal alien craft looming ominously overhead. Luckily, Mark clutched Trent tightly, refusing to let the hypnotic grip of the alien craft claim his son. Together, they retreated into the station's safety, reuniting with Audrey and their fellow passengers. With each stride, their resolve strengthened, fueled by the urgency of their mission. Their destination was clear: the central station, their only hope of reaching out for aid in facing this extraterrestrial threat. On the way, Mark chanced upon Garcia, Jones, and Sarge. Without hesitation, Mark led them to keep moving in search of safety. Audrey informed them that the underground passage would lead to the harbor, where they hoped to get help from the military. As they continued to walk, Mark took the opportunity to check on the situation above ground, while Jones attempted to contact someone over the radio for help. Yet, their hopes were dashed as the grim reality set in, their pleas for help being brushed aside. The military's response offered no reprieve, leaving them only one option: to flee to the harbor. As Mark's gaze pierced the horizon, he witnessed the harbingers of war taking flight, the military's valiant attempt to combat the looming threat above the city. He realized the situation was getting worse when one of the missiles managed to hit the alien craft, creating a powerful explosion that shook the sky. Mark immediately ordered everyone to take cover as the blast shook the earth, but unfortunately, the explosion caused the underground line they were traveling on to be blown to pieces. Two of the train passengers, who had just joined them, couldn't survive the blast and died in the tragedy. In the tumult of the moment, chaos reigned supreme as an alien assailant targeted Garcia, wrenching him away with alarming speed. Mark, without hesitation, grabbed his gun and fired at the alien with unwavering courage. The situation worsened when Trent, still hypnotized by the blue light, couldn't help. Mark relentlessly fired at the alien, risking his life to save his friend. Trent finally regained consciousness when the blue light disappeared, allowing Mark to pull Garcia out of the creepy alien's body. However, things took a turn for the worse when they thought they were safe. The alien tentacles suddenly attacked Jones, gripping his head and brutally taking his brain. Mark and Trent quickly reacted, continuing to fire viciously at the aliens. Meanwhile, the others struggled to get out of the destroyed tunnel. In the chaos of their escape, Mark directed Trent to ascend to safety while he braved the peril below. As Mark himself was about to ascend, the alien's tentacles suddenly attacked him, pulling him with terrifying force. Audrey quickly gave her flare to Mark. With a quick thought, Mark put the flare into the car's gas tank and immediately went upstairs. Just as the alien was about to chase the vehicle, the flare exploded with devastating force, shattering the alien into pieces. Outside, tensions boil over as a giant alien craft appears before them, bringing an unstoppable sense of panic. Trent suggested going back into the tunnel, but Garcia refused as he was already bleeding from the previous alien attack. In the distance, a large alien appeared, chasing them ferociously. With admirable courage, Garcia told the others to leave while he would distract the alien. Quickly, however, he was sucked in by the giant alien, ending his struggle. Arriving at the harbor, a flicker of hope ignited within them at the sight of 3 approaching military helicopters, offering a glimmer of salvation. Yet, their optimism was cruelly shattered as the giant aliens resurfaced, their destructive power obliterating the helicopters in a devastating blast, extinguishing their hopes in a moment of despair. As it turned out, the alien mothership was already above them. With an otherworldly display of power, the alien unleashed a piercing blue beam into the sky, trapping them all in its hypnotic grasp and drawing them inexorably into the bowels of the alien vessel. Only Sarge, the blind survivor, remained untouched by the mesmerizing light. Yet even he could not escape the clutches of the towering alien, his resistance futile in the face of overwhelming odds. Inside the alien mothership, it was revealed that the vast alien they were facing was just a robot controlled by a humanoid alien. With an air of eerie calmness, the alien deftly piloted the craft. Meanwhile, Mark woke up in another chamber among a pile of helpless humans. He immediately realized the danger when he saw a tentacle clawing and taking the brain from one of the humans nearby. His sole focus was to find Trent among the crowd. As the tentacle menacingly honed in on Trent, Mark's instincts kicked into overdrive, unleashing a barrage of gunfire in a desperate bid to thwart the alien's assault. However, the alien saw Mark's action from the alien control screen. While Mark fought to protect his son, the tentacle turned around and tried to attack him. Without hesitation, Mark fired again at the tentacle. However, in the chaos, Mark fell and slipped into the sewer. Luckily, Mark managed to avoid falling into the void, but his leg was caught and impaled by a sharp part of the plane. In stabbing pain, Mark realized that he had to survive and keep fighting to save himself and Trent. Amidst the eerie stillness of the city, the colossal alien vessel came to a halt, unleashing a renewed surge of the ominous blue light that had ensnared so many. Meanwhile, Mark was undaunted in his quest to return to the ship to find Trent. From a distance, he could see how the human brains taken earlier were inserted into the heads of the alien robots, giving them life. Pressing forward through the labyrinthine corridors of the alien vessel, Mark stumbled upon a scene straight from the darkest recesses of his nightmares. In some pregnant women, their stomachs grotesquely split open. In another room, he beheld a series of suspended structures resembling ominous egg-like cocoons. However, before Mark could find out more, he was attacked by one of the alien robots. Amidst the fierce clash of metal and might, Mark's keen eye caught sight of a peculiar anomaly amidst the chaos, a lone alien robot with red eyes locked in combat against its blue-eyed counterparts. In the chaos, the red alien robot managed to remove the human brain from one of the blue alien robots. Sensing something strange about the situation, Mark followed the red alien robot, wondering where it was going and the motive behind the war between the two groups of alien robots. Cautiously, Mark stepped in a direction that they did not fully understand. Those controlling the ship quickly reacted in the alien control room when they learned of Mark's presence on board. They immediately mobilized all their forces to capture him, viewing him as a threat that must be dealt with quickly. Meanwhile, Trent and Audrey were suspended in a discomfiting state of limbo, their senses reeling from the disorienting surroundings. Trent gingerly ignited a flare to check the surroundings, trying to figure out how to escape this tense situation. Suddenly, the red alien robot heals the wound on Mark's leg with its hot hands. Later, the robot led Mark to meet a pregnant woman named Elaine. Elaine worriedly said she would give birth. Mark tried to calm Elaine down, telling her that he had assisted in childbirth in the past and that he would try to help her through this. However, Elaine's distress only intensified as she revealed the unnerving truth of her accelerated pregnancy, a harrowing consequence of her exposure to the eerie blue light. Unfortunately, Elaine and her husband Jared were sucked into the alien craft. Jared's brain was forcibly transplanted into the metallic husk of an alien automaton, a haunting testament to the insidious machinations at play. However, strangely, Jared was still able to control of his mind despite being transformed into a biomechanical alien soldier. In a critical situation, Jared managed to save Elaine when the tentacle machine was about to take her baby. Mark painstakingly helped Elaine through the labor process. Despite the difficult situation, Elaine finally gave birth to a baby girl named Rose. However, sadness struck when Elaine died moments after giving birth. After losing Elaine, Mark asked Jared for help to help him find his son instead. Mark promised to bring baby Rose out of the alien ship and take good care of her. Jared agreed to help Mark in the rescue mission, hoping Rose would find safety and a better life. In another room, Audrey managed to break free from the ties that bound her while Trent was still hanging on. Meanwhile, Jared took Mark to the Alien Weapons Center, where they both looked for ways to fight the enemy that threatened them. Jared put one of his hands into a hole, pulled out a weapon, and then told Mark to do the same. Mark then got the gun attached to his right hand. Jared then took some blue balls, which turned out to be bombs. He placed the bombs in the plane's cannon with the plan to blow up the plane. After that, Jared looked for Trent in the plane's information center. Suddenly, the aliens arrive, and Jared opens a door, telling Mark to enter. Mark quickly entered the door, hoping to find Trent. Mark found Trent and Sarge inside the room, who were also there. Mark quickly put Rose in a safe place, but then human brain-taking tentacles appear, threatening them all. Trent felt compelled to save Sarge and quickly jumped in to free him when the rope binding Sarge broke. However, things got worse when the tentacles target Audrey. Trent told Mark to let him go and save Audrey. After Trent was released, Mark saw the tentacles take Trent's brain. Mark jumped into the tentacle's body without hesitation to save Audrey. Jared was lost fighting the alien leader, adding tension to an already difficult situation. The alien then headed for the door that Mark had passed through. However, Mark managed to defeat the tentacles that threatened them earlier. Suddenly, the alien appeared, confronting Mark, who attempted to defend with the weapon in his hand. However, Mark's efforts proved futile when the gun failed to function. As the alien prepared to attack Mark, it was distracted by the cries of baby Rose. Realizing the danger, Sarge, who was near Rose, attempted to distract the alien from Mark and Rose. However, Sarge's attempt ended tragically as the alien viciously stabbed him, leaving them in grief and despair. Seeing this, Audrey quickly carried Rose away from the danger. The two must promptly found a safe place to take refuge, while Mark was still trapped in an increasingly desperate fight. In the ensuing tension, they must find a way to survive and fight the inevitable alien forces. With what remains of his strength, Jared managed to throw a bomb into the cannon of the alien craft. A powerful explosion rocked the plane, leaving it in pieces, and it eventually crashed to the ground in Laos. Two warriors named Suwa and Kanya, who had anticipated the plane's fall, wear special helmets to protect themselves from the terrible blue light. They arrived at the plane wreckage site, where the situation was already in a state of chaos. During the chaos, they both saw the police acting arbitrarily and oppressing the locals. Without hesitation, Suwa and Kanya both fought the police in a fierce battle. Despite the intense struggle, Suwa finally defeated the policeman with his bravery. Meanwhile, on the plane, Mark and Audrey survived the destruction. They watched in amazement as the baby Rose they had brought along grew up quickly, adding to their confusion. However, sadness came when they found Trent lying lifeless. Audrey invited them to get out of the plane immediately. Outside, Kanya found a blue egg beside the river, hinting that danger still lurked around them. Inside the plane, the surviving aliens were trying to repair their craft. Mark, Audrey, and Sarge exited the plane and crossed the river. They then met up with Kanya and Suwa. It was here that Sarge finally died from his injuries. Suwa led them to safety, but things got complicated when Mark realized the police plans tucked in his back pocket. As Suwa removed his helmet, Mark saw the tattoo on Suwa's neck, which revealed that he was a member of the Triangle Army who hated the police. Suwa began to attack Mark, believing they had come to arrest him. A battle ensued, but Mark quickly explained they had not come to arrest Suwa. When Kanya saw the local police approaching, he was disarmed and captured by Suwa when they all hid. Suwa then led them to leave the place, and Mark asked for Suwa's help to take Rose to the doctor. In return, Mark promised to help them in their endeavors. Sue agreed, and they continued traveling together, hoping to find a way out of their mess. Later that night, while resting, Mark informed the group that there was only one real alien on board, while the others were just alien robots that could be brought to life by attaching a human brain. He also revealed that he had met one alien robot who was still aware that he was human. It suggested that they could renew the alien robots. The following day, when Mark woke up, he was startled by the presence of a policeman pointing a gun at him. Tension struck, but Suwa was quick to act and shot the cop in the stomach to paralyze him. Although Suwa wanted to kill the policeman, Audrey managed to prevent him, and eventually they brought the policeman to their headquarters. The Golden Triangle Army headquarters was in a temple called Shiva Temple. There, they were met by a man named Harper. Suwa put the policeman they captured into the prison inside the temple, and they asked Harper for help to check on baby Rose. When Harper examined Rose, he was surprised to see the extremely high body temperature she had, even more so after learning that Rose was only 2 days old. Harper became even more confused and decided to do further research to discover what was happening with baby Rose and what made her so special. Moments later, Kanye came to Harper to show her the egg she found. Harper was researching Rose's blood and informed her that something had changed Rose's DNA. It implied that Rose was no longer human. Kanya, who hated aliens, immediately wanted to expel Rose, but Audrey forbids it. Suwa and Mark then came to join them. Kanya insisted that Rose should leave because she was an alien. However, Mark vehemently denied it. He recounted his experience on the alien ship, where he saw aliens experimenting with human fetuses. Although most fetuses did not survive, Rose was the only survivor. Mark believes that Rose could be the way to help humanity. Harper then informed him that Rose was running out of blood due to her rapid growth, and she needed a blood transfusion. However, because Rose was not human, no blood matched her blood. Mark remembered that his right hand had once been successfully fitted with an alien weapon, and maybe his blood could match Rose's blood. After doing the test, it was confirmed that Mark and Rose's blood matched. After getting a blood transfusion, Rose's condition improved, and she also learned to speak. With new hope emerging, they begin to band together to protect Rose and figure out how to use her potential for the good of humanity. Harper then examined the alien egg that Kanya had found. As it turns out, the egg was a light bullet, which would turn into a blue light when launched and could control human minds. Harper explained that the egg's contents seemed to be designed to match human DNA and put forward his theory that aliens had come to Earth millions of years ago, possibly being the first entity to put humans on the planet. Now the aliens were returning to harvest human brains. Harper then revealed that he found one flaw in the light bullet. When Rose's blood was mixed with the liquid inside, it blocked the power of the liquid. It meant that with Rose's blood, they could renew the alien robots. However, they had to insert the bullet into the cannon inside the alien craft to achieve that. With this discovery, they have a new plan to fight the alien threat. Outside, the aliens began to regain control of their craft, showing they were still a serious threat to the group. Suwa led Mark and Audrey to retrieve some weapons inside the temple in preparation for the alien attack. Suwa then directed Kanya and Audrey to plant bombs around the temple. While installing the bombs, Kanya and Audrey heard a strange noise that made them suspicious of danger. Elsewhere, Suwa tried to contact Kanya via radio to warn her, but Kanya turned off the radio. Outside, an alien robot suddenly appeared, and Kanya attacked it bravely. He shot at the robot until the bullets ran out, but the robot still survived. Kanya then lured the alien robot to the minefield they had prepared. Despite the massive explosion caused by the minefield, the alien robot still managed to survive, showing how formidable the enemy they faced was. In a precarious situation, Harper tried hard to save Kanya by ordering her to run away. However, with great courage and determination, Kanya chose to sacrifice herself for the safety of others. With a heart full of sacrifice, she stood on the prepared minefield, awaiting the arrival of the approaching alien robots. Emotionally, Kanya bid farewell to the others while tears of courage shone from her eyes. Without hesitation, she raised her foot, triggering a powerful explosion that destroyed the alien robot and made her a victim of her heroic actions. Inside the alien craft, their detection system alerted them that there were many threats inside the temple, and the alien craft headed straight for the temple. Meanwhile, Audrey returned safely inside the temple, rejoining Mark and the others. Mark asks Suwa and the others to leave, but Suwa and his group are determined to defend the temple to the last man. Mark then asked for an injection containing Rose's blood, with the plan to inject the alien bullets into the alien aircraft to awaken all the alien robots. He took Rose to a safe place and then sneaked out. Meanwhile, Suwa monitored the aliens' movements and detonated a bomb when the alien craft entered. Suwa and the others immediately launched into battle, but were faced with an unexpected attack when more alien robots appeared from another doorway. The war was fierce, with several casualties. With persistent effort, Suwa managed to burn one of the alien robots. Still, when the aliens saw the failure of their robots, they decided to intervene directly using their giant robots. It added to the difficulties for the group of humans struggling to defend themselves, as they now face an even more significant threat than before. While Mark managed to sneak into the alien craft outside the temple, Suwa boldly decided to free the policemen he had previously arrested to join the battle against the aliens. Everyone gathered outside the temple, preparing for the attack of the alien craft. Audrey immediately told everyone to close their eyes when the alien craft fired a blue light. However, someone among them quickly took action by firing a missile at the blue light. As a result, the blue light instantly vanished, providing an opportunity for further action. However, amidst the chaos, a giant robot appeared and began to rampage, destroying the temple with immense power. The battle intensifies, and the human group must face a more formidable foe than ever. Mark came face to face with an alien robot blocking him inside the alien craft. Just as Mark was about to fire, the alien robot nimbly threw Mark's weapon, leaving Mark in a problematic situation. However, the alien robot's eyes suddenly changed color when it saw Mark's wedding ring. The robot's eyes distracted him momentarily, allowing Mark to try to rekindle the robot. However, his efforts were in vain, and the robot returned to attack ferociously. Although Mark tried to convince himself that the robot was his son, Trent, there was no visible reaction. With a heavy heart, Mark was finally forced to push the alien robot hard until it fell, looking for a way to survive in an increasingly precarious situation. Outside, the battle between the alien robots and humans was fierce. Harper, who saw Audrey about to be attacked, quickly jumped in to save her, but her actions made her a casualty. Elsewhere, Mark managed to get inside the alien cannon. Quickly, he injected the egg bullet with Rose's blood. The egg turned red, and Mark promptly threw it into the cannon. As the egg entered, a bright red light began emanating, creating a beam illuminating the room. Trent, who was previously hypnotized, was now able to regain consciousness. His eyes turned red, indicating that the alien's influence over him had worn off. However, the aliens who saw the red light from the cannon immediately responded by damaging part of the cannon. Mark was thrown out of the aircraft, but he didn't just give up. Determined, Mark stuck his hand into the alien's gun-making hole, ready to fight against the nearby aliens. Meanwhile, outside, Audrey, Suwa, and police officer Tuana and Mark battle against the onslaught of aliens that keep coming. They fight tenaciously to defend themselves and their mission against the growing alien threat. However, the situation got more complicated when a giant alien robot suddenly appears, eyeing Rose. Suddenly, another giant alien robot with red eyes appears, and it was revealed that a conscious Trent is driving it. The two giant robots immediately engaged in a fierce battle with each other. When Trent looked overwhelmed, Mark quickly approached him. He took a missile shot to shoot the alien who became Trent's enemy. Meanwhile, Suwa, Juana, and Audrey fight desperately to defend their place from alien attacks. However, in the middle of the battle, Rose was seen walking alone among the debris of the fight. Rose stepped towards a broken cannon filled with red egg bullets without hesitation. With her tiny hand, Rose inserted her hand into the fractured cannon, and miraculously, the cannon returned to function. The alien who saw this immediately tried to stop Rose, but Mark ran to protect her. Trent acted quickly, pushing the alien away. Trent took over the cannon and aimed at the enemy alien. The red bullet was successfully fired, and a red glow covered the sky, making the alien robots regain consciousness while the enemy aliens eventually died from being shot. 10 years later, the now-grown Rose, Trent, and the others decide to fly the alien craft into space. They had a mission to destroy the remaining evil aliens, ensuring Earth was safe from their threat. Together, they set off on a new adventure to protect their home. So, what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.